All right. Just making sure we're straight. Oh, we're kind of straight. There we go. I think we got it. All right. Podcast time, guys. And today we are talking about morning routines. Now, this I know is a topic that I hear a lot of people kind of go back and forth on. It's big in the business world. There are a lot of people that talk about, the benefit of morning routines, why you should have a routine that you follow every day. Then there are a lot of people basically saying that's a crock of shit. Just get up and do the shit you got to do. You don't need any kind of, anything that you do in the morning. So I'm going to talk about mine. I'm going to talk about what I do every morning and the reasons that I do the things that I do every morning and how it helps me. Now, for you all specifically, the big thing I need you to understand is this is not me saying, hey, you need to do exactly what I do. This is not me saying that, hey, you need some long, extensive thing. For every person, it's got to be different, right? For every person, it's going to make sense for them. And that's the really important key to remember. I see somebody asking 5K or 10K in the comments here. Neither. You don't need to go for 5K runs or 10K runs if you're building your gas tank for any kind of combat sport. If you follow me for any kind of period of time, then you would know my thoughts on that and you would know why my thoughts are that way they are. But if you have more questions about that, shoot me a DM once we're done here. All right, guys. Before we get started, make sure to drop me a comment. Let me know how your week is going. Let me know how training's going. Let me know if you've got any competitions coming up. And most of all, let me know if there is anything that you would like to learn more about on this podcast, in my videos, anything else like that. The goal of my social media, the goal of this show, everything is to help all of you. So make sure that you let me know what kind of things you're struggling with, what kind of things you would like more help with. Now, let's get into it. We're going to talk about morning routines, and we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Elite Development Podcast, the #1 show for athletes looking to gain an edge on their opponents and build their dream careers in sport. I am your host, Kenny Dussault, and today we are talking about morning routines. Now, this is a hotly debated topic amongst a lot of people, and there is one side that basically says, they live and die through their morning routines. They need that ritual every day to prime their mind, to make sure that, they're ready to go for the day. And then there's the other side that basically said, that's a crock of shit. Like, you have stuff you need to do, just get up and fucking do it. Stop thinking that you need to rely on having this routine every day that you go through. And so if you are all curious, personally, I am on the side of the morning routine is massively beneficial, and I believe that it can massively benefit everybody. But I'm also of the belief that it needs to work specifically for each person. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to talk about my morning routine. I'm going to talk about the things I do every morning, why I do the things I do every morning, how they actually benefit me. And then from that, my hope is that you can not necessarily take the same morning routine, although give it a try if you want. It works very well for me. But you can take some elements of it to create a routine for yourself to benefit yourself in those same ways. So the first thing that I do every single morning is I wake up without a snooze button at 4 o'clock. Now, the reason I wake up at 4 o'clock, the reason that I didn't pick a later time, anything like that, is 2 things. Number 1, it makes sure that I never have to rush in the day. That's early enough that I don't have anything else going on so early that I'm ever feeling like I have to wake up and just rush out the door, because I hate that feeling. I don't like starting a day like that. And so this has me up early enough that I can take my time, I can have some time to myself, and I'm not feeling like I'm stressed as the day's starting. Number 2, plain and simple, it's because that's early and I don't want to get up when my alarm goes off. And the reason that that is important, as cheesy as it sounds, is because I'm building habits and I'm building discipline. I'm telling myself each and every morning that when I don't want to do something, I make myself do it anyway. And the reason that that's so important as a business owner, as an athlete, no matter who you are, is because if you want nice things in life, that takes work. That takes discipline. That takes doing some things every once in a while that you don't like doing. And so by building that habit with myself, first of all, I know that waking up early in the morning is going to benefit me because I'm going to have more time. I'm going to be able to sit and just relax with my coffee and my water in the morning. I'm not going to have to like get up and be rushed and stressed. So that's going to be a benefit for me anyway. But second, I'm building that little bit of discipline of when the alarm goes off, I get the fuck up because that's what I said I'm going to do. And when I have things on my schedule, I do them. Now, the next thing I do is I jump right into a cold shower. I'm not one of these psychopaths that thinks you need to, sit in the cold shower for 10 or 15 minutes. I purely do it, first of all, for that culture of discipline, like I said, but second of all, because it wakes me up. My eyes are a little bit groggy when I'm waking up in the morning. I'm not super awake. My brain feels like it's moving slowly. I crank the cold water. I jump into that for 10 to 30 seconds. And after 10 to 30 seconds, bam, I'm awake. I'm ready for the day. So those are the first two things, number one and number two in the morning. Now, again, the same thing with that cold shower. The reason that it benefits me is I'm not going to sit here and say like, all the health benefits behind cold therapy or anything like that, because really and truly, I do it not for those reasons. The reason that it benefits me and the reason I like it is because as a business owner, there's stuff that comes up in my day that I don't always love to do. I have to deal with accounting and tax stuff sometimes. I've got to deal with, some issues sometimes with clients, although my clients are fucking awesome, so that doesn't happen a lot. But there's things that pop up that I don't necessarily like to deal with. And what I'm wiring into my brain every morning is instead of putting it off, just do it right away. So that cold shower, I never like it, but I always have that in my head that I'm like, I'm going to do this because I told myself I'm going to do it. So I can either sit here for 5 or 10 minutes and then do it anyway, or I can just fucking get it over with. And then the longer I've done that, the more and more and more I notice when a task comes up that I don't want to deal with, I don't put it off anymore. I don't put it off anymore because I'm like, man, I got to do this anyway. I may as well just get it done. And then that's just keeping everything in my business, keeping everything in my life running smoother. Now, could I just not put those things off anyway? Yeah. But the way that I do it and the way that I reinforce that in my brain every day helps me not procrastinate. So the next thing, cold shower, it wakes me up. It helps me stay disciplined with things that I don't necessarily enjoy. The next thing is my 10-minute morning meditation. So I have a YouTube link that I use for this, and I sit in this chair, cross-legged with my hood up, close my eyes, excuse me, and I just breathe. I just listen to this 10-minute guided meditation, and I just breathe. And as I'm breathing, I'm thinking about specific goals that I have for my future. This year, I want to buy a house. So I'm thinking about the house that I want to buy. This year, I want to get to 200 pounds lean and strong. Right now, I'm a little bit above that. I've dealt with a couple of injuries over the last couple of years. So I'm just working through some difficult things physically that my goal is to get past. So I'm picturing myself feeling healthy, feeling strong, being at that weight that I'm trying to get to. And then I've got income goals that I'm picturing. I've got things in my life that I want to buy, details that I'm not going to, necessarily talk about to the same degree. But every day I have that 10-minute time that literally all I'm doing is I'm sitting in this chair, breathing, and I'm thinking about those goals for the future. And the reason that that's so important is because that just melts stress out of my brain. And so every single morning when I take that time and I do that, all I'm doing is I'm reinforcing in my brain, hey, yeah, there might be stressful days. Hey, income might be down a little bit this month, or hey, you might be traveling a lot and stressed out about all the places you're going right now. But remember, we're working towards those physical goals. Here are those goals. Like in 6 to 8 months, this is what you're going to look like. This is what you're going to feel like every day. In a year, you're going to be sitting in your own house instead of sitting in an apartment. The income goals that I'm working towards making, the traveling goals that I'm working towards making, and just thinking about what life is going to be a year from now. And so right away, that just melts any stress out of my brain. And that just gets me ready and excited to start each and every day. Now, once I go through that, I have a journal that I use every morning. And in that journal, I set 3 things that I'm grateful for, 3 intentions for the day, and then 3 affirmations about myself. Now, again, number 1 is this is just setting the tone for the day, right? So one of the common intentions that I set lately is just today I execute at 100%. So that means everything that goes on the list that I write for myself gets done, period. And then as I put that down, I will literally find myself during the day picking up my list going, maybe I can just push that to tomorrow. And then immediately I'm reminded of that intention that I write down every day. I execute at 100%. And just having that little reminder and having that little thing that I write down every morning helps me continue to stay on tasks through the day, through the week, through the month, through the years. And then the gratitudes are, again, just continuing off of that meditation, thinking about the things I have in my life that are positive, thinking about the things that I am working for, the reasons that I continue to do what I do. And the reason that that's so powerful is because, again, even on the days where I'm a little more exhausted, I don't necessarily feel like getting up and doing work, it keeps me moving in the right direction. And so that's why I find so much benefit from doing that. Now, the next thing I jump into is client care. So once I've done that, I basically, at that point, I feel like, okay, mentally, I've taken care of me. Now I open up the training app. I get to any questions that have come in through the night from any of my athletes. So just getting back to them, answering questions, making sure program tweaks and everything like that are set up and ready to go for that day if anything's needed. And then once I'm done that, this is where I set the rest of my day up. So number 1, I'm eating breakfast because, as we all know, most important meal of the day. And number 2, I'm creating my daily review. So my daily review, I sit with my little notebook that is my to-do list, and I just plan out every block during my day. So like as an example, today I had my 8 o'clock meeting with my assistant. I had a 9 o'clock meeting with an athlete. I had a haircut at 10 o'clock. I had a podcast at 11:15. I have a business coaching call at 12. I have some programming work that I need to do at 1:30. I have a meeting with my coach at 2. And off the top of my head, that's it. But I have more this afternoon, but just can't think of the rest of the order right now. But the point is I write all this stuff out at 5:30 in the morning so that as I'm going through my day, I'm never sitting and wasting time. I'm never sitting and thinking, oh shit, what do I have coming up next? What do I have to do this afternoon? Oh, am I forgetting about this or that? I just know exactly what's happening and I know exactly at what time it's happening. And I plan everything into that list. And so the reason that helps me out is because it just gives me clarity through my day and, again, reduces the stress that I feel through the day. And then as soon as I've written that list, I know everything that's happening in my day. I know when everything's happening in my day. I've eaten breakfast, then we're off to the gym. I get to the gym anywhere from kind of 6 to 6:30. And then my workout goes until that first meeting, which is always at 8 o'clock, Monday through Friday. So guys, this is my morning routine. This is what I do every single day to help get me ready for the day, help get me, looking forward to and excited for the things I have going on. And I hope what that did, if anything, is just give you guys some insight that when people talk about morning routines, it's easy to, kind of throw that conversation aside and be like, oh, it's just rah bullshit, whatever. And some people might not need them to the same degree, or some people might not see the same benefit from the same things. But that's just breaking it down raw and real, the things that I do and the reasons that I do them. And the reasons that I do them and the reasons I continue to do them is because every day I do it, I feel the benefit of it. And it's not going to happen in one day. Like, you're not going to jump in a 30-second cold shower one day and then be like, I have perfect discipline now. But the more and more and more you do it, the more and more you start to build that trust that you can keep yourself disciplined with difficult things. The more and more and more you start to notice that translate to other areas of your life. So I hope that gave you a little bit of perspective. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got some value from it. If you did, shoot me a message across any of my social media platforms that you follow me on. I would love to know what that value was. I would love to know what you learned. And as always, guys, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I hope you have a great training session today or tomorrow, whenever it is you're training next. I appreciate you all for taking the time to tune in. And as always, I will catch you on the next episode. So you asked how much I usually sleep. So usually I'm in